Murderers who refused to reveal the location of their victims' bodies could be denied parole under a new UK law. Helen's Law follows a campaign named after Helen McCourt, who was murdered in 1988. Her killer Ian Sims has not revealed the location of her remains.
Here's a summary of the article.
PA murderers who refuse to reveal the location of their victims' bodies could be denied parole under a new law. Helen's Law follows a campaign named after Helen McCourt, who was murdered in 1988. Justice Secretary David Gawkey has confirmed the law will be adopted in England and Wales. Nearly 600,000 people signed a petition, launched in 2015, calling for the introduction of Helen's Law to block parole for killers who concealed the whereabouts of their victims' bodies. The Ministry of Justice says parole board guidance is already clear that offenders who withhold information could face a longer imprisonment, but Helen's Law will, for the first time, make it a legal requirement to consider this concealment when making a decision on whether to release an offender. The government's confirmation of plans for the law follows a meeting between Mrs. McCourt and Mr. Gawkey in May. Mr. Gawkey said, Helen's Law will mean that the parole board must consider this cruelty when reviewing an offender's suitability for release, which could see them facing longer behind bars. Former Chief Prosecutor Nazir Afzal said, what Helen's Law will say is that it's now a legal requirement for the parole board to take it into account, which potentially means her killer will never see the light of day unless he reveals where she is, and that is a significant change.
This post received a score of 42,905, with an upvote ratio of 94%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
I mean, isn't this what a parole board is for? And #X200B. If someone admitted to doing it, or the evidence was overwhelming and they weren't disclosing the information, wouldn't a parole board just deny it anyway? And #X200B. Or are they assumed to grant it unless they can cite something specific legally?
Pretty much. This is just a feel-good law to make people feel tough on crime.
And in turn makes the parole board unable to be flexible in situations they'd otherwise be. Like someone who keeps claiming innocence because they truly didn't commit a murder, who initially was allowed parole, and now needs to magically discover where the body is.
And can you imagine if he guesses right? In the third aisle in the toy store on Graham Avenue is the My Little Pony merchandise. The body is in an urn behind Fluttershy. Holy fuck, it was there. Look at the security footage. I swear that was just a guess. Look for the real killer.
I buried it in the graveyard. I took out a random coffin and placed the corpse inside as well. I don't recall which one. That'll be an interesting week.
The body is in an unmarked grave next to Arch Stanton.
You know what you are, just a dirty son of a. There are two kinds of people in the world, those with guns and those that dig. See you soon, id. Idiots, it's for you.
Tuco Benedicto Pacifico Juan Maria Ramirez.
Serial killers could really end up getting the short end of the stick on this one. Imagine you've killed like 50 people and you forget where you stuffed just one of those bodies, so now you're locked up for good? And what if you ate one of the bodies? How are you ever supposed to get out of prison then?
I respect those who do not add the S. Thumbs up, mate.
Promotes critical thinking. A+.
To be fair, it was quite obvious. Unless
those bodies wanted to be eaten.
My hat's off to you boys, that's the perfect crime.
That'll be fun for the wrongfully convicted.
Yeah, who the hell forgot about any situation outside of this particular case, and said go for it?
The people in charge.
The PIC? I hate those guys.
That's just an assumption.
They probably refuse because remains from additional victims would be found.
Really? Do serial killers usually bury their victims together?
It certainly isn't uncommon. Getting rid of a body isn't easy. Plenty of killers have defaulted to the same spot, general area because, well, what works once will work more often, right?
Getting rid of a body is very easy. Just look at the missing persons statistics.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.